You watch the PGA Tour long enough, and you start recognizing patterns. You see a guy win a major, and you think, finally he's arrived. But sometimes, that trophy celebration gets cut short. Not by injury, not by a bad round, by something far more damaging. That's exactly what happened to Wyndham Clark, June 2026. He just won his second US Open. The golf world is supposed to be celebrating. Instead, within 24 hours, everything flips. A video surfaces online. A PGA Tour caddy posts it with 4 words that set the internet on fire. I think Wyndham Clark cheats here. Now, if this was the first time, maybe it blows over. But here's the problem. It's not the first time. This is the second cheating scandal surrounding Clark, and this time, the people writing the checks are paying very close attention. We're talking about the sponsors, the brands that put millions behind this guy. T-Mobile, Power Design, SoFi, Lexus. They stood by him once. Twice, maybe. But after this second scandal, things started shifting. So here's the question you clicked for. Which sponsors are pulling back? Why are they refusing to stand by him? And how did we even get to a second scandal? I'll tell you this much. This isn't about a bad round or a tough course. This is about integrity. And when integrity gets questioned twice, sponsors start asking hard questions. We'll get into all of it. The video, the first scandal, the sponsor responses. But first, let me ask you something. Do you think Clark is getting unfairly targeted, or is he pushing the rules too far? Drop your take in the comments. And if you want real golf breakdowns without the fluff, hit subscribe. We're building something here for fans who actually watch every week. Now, let's get into what actually happened at Oakmont. So let's zoom in on Oakmont, because that's where this whole mess started. The 2026 US Open. Wyndham Clark just pulled off something incredible. He beat the best field in golf on one of the toughest courses in America. The celebration should have lasted weeks. Instead, it lasted hours. Because the morning after his win, a caddy named Brent Henley did something unusual. He went on X and posted a video clip from the tournament, and he didn't just share it quietly, he added a caption that lit a fire under the entire golf world. I think Wyndham Clark cheats here. 4 words. That's all it took. The video shows Clark standing in the fescue. For those who don't play Oakmont, that rough is nasty. Thick, wiry grass that grabs your club and stops it dead. Even the best players dread ending up there. Clark was in that exact situation. He had a difficult lie, and he needed to get it out cleanly. Watch the clip closely. You see Clark take a few practice swings behind the ball. Normal. Everyone does that. But then, something catches Henley's eye. Clark appears to tap down the grass directly behind his ball with his wedge. A small motion. Maybe nothing. But Henley saw it differently. The accusation is clear. By tapping that grass, Clark potentially improved his lie. He made the spot behind the ball cleaner, giving himself an easier swing. And if that's true, it's a violation. Under the rules of golf, specifically Rule 8, you cannot improve your lie, your stance, or the area where you intend to swing. That rule exists for a reason. It keeps the game fair. You play the ball as it lies. No free passes, no shortcuts. Now, here's the gray area. The video is not crystal clear. You can see the motion, but you cannot definitively prove the grass moved in a way that helped him. The PGA Tour reviewed the footage. They looked for 2 things. Did the ball move? No. Was the lie significantly altered? Unclear. Without that proof, they couldn't issue a penalty. So officially, Clark is clean. But golf fans don't operate on official statements alone. They operate on what their eyes show them. And what the eyes saw was a player doing something that looked, at best, questionable. At worst, deliberate. That missing piece is crucial. The lack of a penalty didn't silence the critics. It made them louder. Because now, the conversation shifted from, did he cheat, to, why does this keep happening to him? And that shift is dangerous for Clark. Because when a player keeps finding himself in these gray areas, sponsors notice. They don't just look at the scoreboard anymore. They look at the reputation. They look at the risk. So here we are. The video is out. The internet is divided. Clark says he did nothing wrong. The tour says there's no case. But the doubt is already planted. And that doubt has a long history with this player. That first time set the stage for everything that followed. And it's where the sponsors started paying very close attention. Because this wasn't the first time Wyndham Clark stood in front of a camera while people questioned his integrity. The first time happened 2 years earlier. And that story, honestly, might be even more important than this one. Let's go back to 2024. The Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. Clark was in contention. He was playing great golf. But on the 18th hole, something happened that caught everyone off guard. He was in the rough, thick stuff, just like Oakmont. He was preparing for his second shot, and as he set up, the cameras caught him doing something similar. He appeared to press down the grass behind his ball with his wedge. The video was zoomed in, and fans went crazy. They accused him of improving his lie, the same accusation, the same motion, the same gray area. Clark defended himself immediately. He said, "I'm not cheating or anything like that, or trying to improve my lie." He looked frustrated. He looked like he couldn't believe people were questioning him. But the damage was done. The label had been stamped on him, even if the tour never penalized him. Then 2025 rolled around. Same tournament, same player, same controversy. This time, Clark hit a tee shot and the ball settled into a pitch mark on the fairway. He was allowed a free drop. Some players and fans thought he shouldn't have gotten that relief. The tour reviewed it again. They officially cleared him, saying the ball returned to its own pitch mark, which entitled Clark to relief. So twice at Bay Hill, Clark walked away without a penalty. Twice. The rules officials said he did nothing wrong. But here's the problem. Being cleared by the rules doesn't clear your name in the public eye. And in the sponsor world, public perception matters more than official rulings. Once the cheating label sticks, it's incredibly hard to scrub off. Being cleared by the rules didn't clear his name with the brands. And that's when the first real warning shot was fired. That warning came in May 2025, the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. Clark was having a rough round. Frustration was building, and on the 16th hole he hit a terrible tee shot. He was angry. He let his emotions take over. He threw his club. Now, players throw clubs all the time. It's not good, but it happens. The problem was where that club landed. It hit a T-Mobile advertising board. Right there, on live television, the club smacked into the logo of one of his own sponsors. Think about that for a second. T-Mobile pays him. T-Mobile has their logo on his hat, and he just physically assaulted their sign in front of millions of viewers. The internet went wild. Memes popped up everywhere. People started asking what T-Mobile would do, and then T-Mobile responded. They didn't stay silent. They didn't send a private email. They went public. They posted on X. They wrote, "You've got our support, Wyndham, and the good news is that our 5G network is ready for almost anything, even if our signs aren't." Read that statement carefully. It sounds supportive on the surface, but underneath, it's a sharp, sarcastic dig. They're saying, "We support you, but please stop breaking our stuff." It's a warning, a very public warning. To anyone watching, the message was clear. T-Mobile was embarrassed, and they wanted everyone to know they weren't happy. That's the first time a sponsor publicly showed their frustration with Clark. They didn't drop him, but they put him on notice. They told the world that his behavior was not acceptable. A sarcastic tweet is a warning, but what happened next at Oakmont made that tweet look like a friendly reminder, because Clark didn't seem to learn from that moment. If anything, his behavior escalated. A few weeks after the T-Mobile incident, Clark played in the 2025 US Open at Oakmont. This was before the 2026 win. He missed the cut. He played poorly, and he was furious. According to reports, Clark went into the locker room after his round and destroyed property. He damaged the locker room. He didn't just slam a door. He caused real damage, and Oakmont officials had enough. They banned him. They told him he was not welcome to return to the club. Now, let that sink in. A US Open venue banned a professional golfer from their property. That doesn't happen every day. It's rare. It's embarrassing. And it tells you everything you need to know about Clark's emotional state during that period. So by this point, the pattern is clear. 2024 and 2025. Cheating accusations at Bay Hill. 2025. Club throwing and hitting a sponsor's sign. 2025. Locker room destruction and a ban from Oakmont. The man was burning bridges everywhere. Sponsors were watching. They were taking notes. But they stayed. They didn't walk away. Why? Because Clark started winning again. Fast forward to May 2026. The CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Clark plays unbelievable golf. He shoots 30 under par. He wins by a landslide. He takes home $1,854,000. In his victory speech, he did something interesting. He looked into the camera and thanked his sponsors. He specifically mentioned Power Design, SoFi, T-Mobile, and Lexus. He said, The greatest thing about having a downfall like that is the comeback. He was acknowledging the rough period, he was thanking them for staying, and he was probably hoping that the controversy was behind him. Then, just a few weeks later, Ping signed him to a historic putter-only contract. This was huge. Ping rarely does exclusive deals like that. It was a major vote of confidence. It showed that equipment companies still believed in him. But here's where it gets complicated. The very next month, June 2026, he wins the US Open, and 24 hours later, the cheating video surfaces again. They stayed because winners make money. But here's the question that keeps them up at night. Is Wyndham Clark still worth the risk? That's the core tension right now. Sponsors have a choice to make. Let's look at where things stand after the 2026 video. T-Mobile hasn't commented yet. Neither have Power Design, SoFi, or Lexus. They're staying quiet. But staying quiet is a statement in itself. If they fully supported him, they would have rushed out a statement of support. They didn't. Ping hasn't said anything either, but they have the most to lose. They just signed him. Their name is now attached to a player who is under a cheating microscope for the second time. The reality is this: no sponsor has officially terminated their contract with Clark. But that's not the full story. Sponsors don't always fire you to show they're upset. Sometimes, they just distance themselves. T-Mobile's public warning in 2025 was a refusal to stand by him in the way he needed. They didn't say, "We believe in you, Wyndham." They said, "Please don't break our signs." That's a refusal of full-throated support. And right now, the silence from the sponsors is deafening. They're waiting. They're watching. They're seeing if this blows over or if another shoe drops. So what does this mean for Clark? It means his margin for error is gone. He can't have any more controversy. He can't appear in any more questionable videos. He can't throw clubs near sponsor signs. He can't destroy locker rooms. If he does, the sponsors will walk. Not with a sarcastic tweet, not with silence, with a press release. And once that happens, his earnings plummet. Now, let's go back to the bigger picture. Is the PGA Tour in a huge crisis? No. The Tour will survive. They've survived bigger controversies. Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, the LIV golf split. The Tour is built to handle storms. But for Wyndham Clark, this is a personal crisis. His reputation is battered. His sponsors are on edge. And if he can't prove that he's worth the headache, he will lose the financial backing that makes him one of the highest paid players in the game. This isn't about a golf swing anymore. It's about trust. And right now, trust is in short supply. So here's where I land on this. Is Wyndham Clark a cheater? I honestly don't know. The video isn't clear enough to convict him in a court of law. But golf fans don't need a court of law. They need to see a player who stays out of trouble. And Clark hasn't done that. He keeps putting himself in these positions. He keeps giving people a reason to doubt him. And that's a problem he can't fix with a good round of golf. Maybe he's innocent. Maybe he just has terrible luck with cameras. But when you have two major scandals, a public sponsor warning, and a locker room ban on your record, luck stops being an excuse. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Wyndham Clark is getting unfairly targeted, or is he pushing the rules too far? Drop your honest take in the comments, and if you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of fan we're building this channel for. Hit subscribe. No fluff, no clickbait, just real golf talk from people who actually watch every week. Thanks for sticking with me. Let's see how this story plays out at the next tournament. Because if Clark steps on a course again, and the cameras catch something questionable, the sponsors won't wait for the tour's ruling. They'll make their own call. And that call might end his reign at the top before we even know it's over.